Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of Islamic Magic Sharia. Today we are discussing King Faisal, the first of Iraq, and we'll be reading a brief memoir of him. Faisal bin al-Hashim bin Ali al-Lami was king of the Arab kingdom of Syria, or Greater Syria, in 1920, and was king of Iraq from 23 August 1921 to 1933. He was a member of the Hashemite dynasty. Faisal fostered unity between Sunni and Shiite Muslims to encourage common loyalty and promote Pan-Arabian in the goal of creating an Arab state that would include Iraq, Syria, and the rest of the Fertile Crescent. While in power, Faisal tried to diversify his administration by including different ethnic and religious groups in offices. However, Faisal's attempt at pan-Arab nationalism may have contributed to the isolation of certain religious groups. Faisal was born in Mecca, Ottoman Empire, to present-day Saudi Arabia, 1883. The third son of Hussein bin Ali, the Grand Sharif of Mecca. He grew up in Istanbul and learned about leadership from his father. In 1913, he was elected as representative for the city of Jeddah for the Ottoman Parliament. In 1916, on a mission to Istanbul, Faisal visited Damascus twice. On one of these, he received the Damascus Protocol, joined with the Al-Fatah group of Arab nationalists. On 23 October 1916, at Hamra in Wadi Safra, Emir Faisal met Captain T.E. Lawrence, a junior British intelligence officer from Cairo. Lawrence, who envisioned an independent post-war Arabian state, sought the right man to lead the Arab forces and achieved this. In 1916 through 1918, Faisal headed the army, a rebellion that confronted the Turks in what was to become Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Syria. After a 30-month-long siege, he conquered Medina, defeating the defense organized by Fakhri Pasha and looting the city. Emir Faisal also worked with the Allies during World War I in the conquest of Greater Syria and the capture of Damascus in October 1918. Faisal became part of a new Arab government at Damascus, formed after the capture of that city in 1918. Emir Faisal's role in the Arab revolt was described by Lawrence in 7 Pillars of Wisdom. However, the accuracy of the book, not least the importance given by the author to his own contribution during the revolt, has been criticized by some historians, including David Franklin. Post-World War I. Participation in Peace Conference. In 1919, Emir Faisal led the Arab delegation to the Paris Peace Conference, and with the support of the knowledge and influential Gertrude Bell, argued for the establishment of independent Arab emirates for the predominantly Arab areas held by the Ottoman Empire. Greater Syria. British and Arab forces took Damascus in October 1918, which was followed by the Armistice of Mudros, with the end of Turkish rule that October. Faisal helped set up an Arab government under British protection and Arab-controlled Greater Syria. In May 1919, Elections were held for the Syria National Congress, which met the following year. Faisal Agreement. On 4 January 1919, Amir Faisal and Dr. Chaim Weizmann, president of the Zionist organization, signed the Faisal-Weizmann Agreement for Arab-Jewish cooperation, in which Faisal conditionally accepted the bill for a declaration, a wartime document promising British support to the development of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. On which subject he made the following statement: "We Arabs look with the deepest sympathy on the Zionist movement. Our deputation here in Paris is fully acquainted with the proposals submitted yesterday by the Zionist organization to the peace conference, and we regard them as moderate and proper. We will do our best insofar as we are concerned to help them through. We will wish the Jews a most hearty welcome home. I look forward, and my people with me look forward, to a future in which we will help you and you will help us, so that the countries in which we are mutually interested may once again take their places in the community of the civilized peoples of the world." These promises were not immediately fulfilled, in some cases not until the establishment of the Jewish state of Israel. But once Arab states were granted autonomy from the European powers years after the Faisal-Weizmann Agreement, and these new Arab nations were recognized by the Europeans, and the UN, Weizmann argued that since the fulfillment was kept eventually, the agreement for a Jewish homeland in Palestine still held. In truth, however, this hope for partnership had little chance of success and was a dead letter by late 1920. Faisal had hoped that Zionist influence on British policy would be sufficient to forestall French designs on Syria. But Zionist influence could never compete with French interests. At the same time, Faisal failed to enlist significant sympathy among the Arab elite supporters for the ideas of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, even under loose Arab suzerainty. King of Syria and Iraq. On 7 March 1920, Faisal was proclaimed king of the Arab Kingdom of Syria, Greater Syria, by the Syrian National Congress government of Hashim al-Attasi in April 1920. The San Remo Conference gave France the mandate for Syria, which led to the Franco-Syrian War and the Battle of Masloum on 24 July 1920. The French were victorious and Faisal was expelled from Syria. He went to live in the United Kingdom in August of that year. In March 1921, at the Cairo Conference, the Brits decided that Faisal was a good candidate for ruling the British Mandate of Iraq because of his apparent conciliatory attitude towards the great powers and based on advice from T.E. Lawrence, more commonly known as Lawrence of Arabia. But in 1921, few people living in Iraq even knew who Faisal was, or had ever heard his name. With help of British officials, including Gertrude Bell, he successfully campaigned among the Arabs of Iraq and won over popular support. The British government mandate holders in Iraq were concerned at the unrest in the colony. They decided to step back from direct administration and create a monarchy to head Iraq while they maintained the mandate. Following the plebiscite showing 96% in favor, which was not really accurate, but created by British Council of Ministers who wanted to put Faisal in power, Faisal agreed to becoming king. In August 1921, he was made king of Iraq. He encouraged the An influx of Syrian exiles and office seekers to cultivate better Iraqi-Syrian relations. In order to improve education in the country, Faisal employed doctors and teachers in the civil service and appointed Sati al-Hushri, the ex-minister of education in Damascus, as his director of the Ministry of Education. This influx resulted in much native resentment towards Syrians and Lebanese in Iraq. Faisal also developed desert motor routes from Baghdad to Damascus and Baghdad to Amman. This led to a greater interest in the Masuf oil field and eventually to his plan to build an oil pipeline in the Mediterranean port, which would help Iraq economically. This also led to an increase in Iraq's desire for more influence in the Arab East. During his reign, Faisal made great effort to build Iraq's army into a powerful force. He attempted to impose universal military service in order to achieve this, but this failed. Some see this as part of his plan to advance his pan-Arab agenda. In 1925, after the Syrian Druze uprising, the French government began consulting Faisal in Syrian matters. He advised the French to restore Hashemite power in Damascus. The French consulted Faisal because they were inspired by his success as an imposed leader in Iraq. Faisal saw the Anglo-Iraqi Treaty of 1930 as an obstacle to his pan-Arab agenda, although it provided Iraq with a degree of political independence. He wanted to make sure that the treaty had built-in end date because the treaty further divided Syria and Iraq, the former which was under French control and the latter under British rule. This prevented unity between two major Arab regions, which were important in Faisal's pan-Arab agenda. Ironically, Arab nationalists in Iraq had a positive reception to the treaty because they saw this as progress, which seemed better than the Arab situation in Syria and Palestine. In 1932, the British mandate ended and Faisal was instrumental in making his country nominally independent. On 3 October, the Kingdom of Iraq joined the League of Nations. In August 1933, incidents like the Semele's massacre caused tension between the United Kingdom and Iraq. Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald ordered High Commissioner Francis Humphreys to Iraq immediately upon hearing of the killings of Syrian Christians. The British government demanded that Faisal stay in Baghdad to punish the guilty. Whether Christians or Muslims, in response, Faisal cabled to Iraqi legislation in London. Although everything is normal now in Iraq, and in spite of my broken health, I shall await the arrival of Sir Francis Humphreys in Baghdad, but there is no reason for further anxiety. Inform the British government of the contents of my telegraph. In July 1933, right before his death, Faisal went to London where he expressed his alarm at the current situation in Arabs that resulted from the Arab-Jewish conflict and increased Jewish immigration to Palestine. As the Arab political, social, and economic situation was declining, he asked the British to limit Jewish immigration and land purchases. King Faisal died on September 1933 at the age of 48. The official cause of death was a heart attack while he was staying in Bern, Switzerland for his general medical checkup. He was succeeded on the throne by his oldest son, God. Many questions arose from his sudden death as Swiss doctors assured that he was healthy and nothing serious was wrong with him. His private nurse also reported signs of arsenic poisoning before his death. Many of his companions noticed that day he was suffering from pain in the abdomen, sign of poisoning, not chest, a typical sign of heart attack. His body was quickly embalmed before performing a proper autopsy to find the exact result of death, a known procedure in such situations. A square is named in his honor at the end of Harford Street, Baghdad, where an exterior statue of him stands. The statue was knocked down following the overthrow of the monarchy in 1958, but later restored. Marriage and children. Faisal was married to Huzaima bint Nasir and had 2 sons and 3 daughters. Princess Azza bint Faisal, Princess Rajiha bint Faisal, Princess Rafia bint Faisal, Ghazi, King of Iraq, born 1912, died 4 April 1939. Married his first cousin, Princess Aliyah bint Ali, daughter of H.M. Hasemite King Ali of Hijaz.